What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to tackle question 22 in the 4th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. We see that Michael is solving 23 times 42 using this rectangular array. You may also know it as the box method of multiplying. And we're trying to figure out what the missing number that Michael needs to solve the problem is. So in order to do really well on a question like this, you need to know multiplication, and this is also kind of testing your knowledge of the box method. And then there's another way to solve this where we'll end up using some ideas related to equations and fact families. So I'll do this, to start with, I'll do it the way that tracks with the box method, because that's how I'm pretty sure that the people who make this question want us to think through it. So when we use a box method, we either we're going to either write 23 and 42 or 42 and 23, but either way, whatever number we write up top, whatever number we write to the left, we're going to split that and say that 23 is now just 20 plus 3. 42 is now just 40 plus 2. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do this myself. I don't know yet if I got these numbers right, but whatever I do, I'm going to end up getting 3 of them. And then the other one that's missing is going to end up being my answer. So 20 times 40. In order to do this, I'm just going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. And then I tack on my 1, 2 zeros. Gives me 800. And now I'm going to come over here and do 40 times 3, which is just 4 times 3, or 12. I had 1 0, so I'm going to make sure to add that. Down here, I'm doing 20 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, I add my 0 and it gets me 40, and now finally, 2 times 3 is 6. So if I can compare this diagram to this one, I can see that 800 and 800, 40 and 40, 6 and 6, my missing number is 120, which matches choice D. But now I also want to ask the question, what if I see a problem like this, and I have no idea what this whole box thing even means? Well, the way we're going to do that is a little trickier. It's going to involve equations, and it's going to look like a lot of other questions that I've done, but essentially, I'm going to assume that even if you don't know anything about the box method, you'll assume that we just have to add this number, this number, this number, and this number to get whatever the answer to 23 times 42 is. Thankfully, this is calculator active, so I'm okay to go ahead and find 23 times 42, and it gets me 966. So I know that 800 plus 40 plus 6 plus some number I don't know yet equals 966. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add up all these numbers together. Thankfully, there's no real carrying over that I need to do. I can just say that this is 8 hundreds, 4 tens, and 6 ones, and it gets me 846 plus something equals 966. And here I have some number that I don't know yet. It's not by itself. It doesn't have one side of the equal sign to itself. So I'm going to have to go ahead and use a fact family to switch some of this around. And I'm going to say that if I know that 846 plus something equals 966, then I can say that 966 minus 846 equals that same number that I don't know yet. And now, since I have my calculator, if I'm using this method to solve it, all I'm going to have to do is figure out exactly what 966 minus 846 is, and it gets me 120. The same answer that we got from doing it the quote-unquote normal way.